All right, guys, we're live again on a whole different live stream. So I don't know if people are even going to be able to find this one, but if you were lucky enough to find this, we're still live, kind of, sort of, on a different stream. We're still calling races. So for anybody who's paying attention, here we be.
Yeah, I'll post a new link.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any excuse for it. It's just my computer's just got too much stuff on it right now, and I don't have time to go through and fix it all right now. I'll do it tonight. Sorry about that. Oh, this is the wrong chat.
Live.
Do it live. Let me bring the right chat back. Here we go. Pop out this chat real quick. All right, we got 2 minutes and 45 seconds before the next race. Sorry about that. Yeah, Mustis, man, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough night. That's the third rug. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna do something real quick.
It's in your general chat. Normally I put it in photo finish, but
there we go. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we're back with 2 minutes and 28 seconds before the next race. It's a grade 1 race. And hopefully we won't have any more technical difficulties tonight. We were thinking about ending the stream like after the races at 8:15 because there's not many races after that. Hopefully we make it that far. Sorry about that, True Stoner. Welcome back. All right, we got 2 minutes before the Crown Prep Series, another grade 1 race, 5 furlong. Did we go through these yet? Well, we were looking at them earlier to pick our horses. Mo picked good number, and I went with, I think, S26, right?
yep.
S26 RDF no name. What's up, Tony B? Good luck if you're in this race. Sorry about the rugging. We're back on another stream. It's not really, it's the same channel, it's the same stream. It's just a little different. Oh, Tony B is running with Ace. We were looking at Ace King. Ace King got beat by a good number, but has better stats, so we weren't sure which horse was gonna defeat the other one in this race. Let's check out the horses in this race before it starts. We got Dancing Nancy from Miami Nation, Bonsai from Soma. We did go over these already, my bad. Starship Enterprise and Ricky, yeah. What's up, Big A? This is the part 2 of our Saturday night racing. We got rugged on our first stream and had to start a whole second stream. I couldn't get that one back. It was gone forever. I lost it. But now we're back.
Chat missed a good conversation too. That's unfortunate. We were on one. We were going back and forth.
We were talking for 15 minutes, but weren't even live and didn't realize it. So yeah, we had a whole entire conversation that you guys missed, and I don't know if we should even go back and repeat it. Maybe we should just keep that between you and me. I don't even remember what we were talking about, honestly.
What we're gonna do is since one of us, I'm sure, it will be recorded locally, we'll put it on your Patreon behind a paywall.
Yeah, behind a paywall.
You know
that's a special exclusive content right there for you guys. All right, we got 39 seconds before the next race of the night. We haven't missed any races or anything. We had like 20 minutes between races, so no big deal there, I guess. Except for all the people that were talking in here earlier are gone. They probably don't even know we went live again, so sorry to those guys if they watch this later on the replay. We rugged you. We apologize. I'll have all this fixed by next week. I just have to go through and clean out the old computer one more time. All right, guys, Crown Prep Series starting in 15 seconds. I'm going to send it over to Mo Knowz for your call. And then the race after this, I believe, is going to be the Derby race of the week. Good luck if you're in this one. Here we go.
All right, should be getting going here in a moment. There we go.
Horses are at the gate. It's post time here on Photo Finish, Night of the Races, Major Race. Ten-horse field, locked and loaded. And they're off and running here. It's Starship Enterprise, who breaks well from between horses, as does Ace King on the outside. And it's Banzai down at the rail, followed by S26 RDF. And it comes La Bandadita in 5th in the Yellow Silks, and Mightiest Mouse gonna round out the top 6 here as they head into the clubhouse turn, and the only turn, in fact, as they head around in this 5 furlong right turning affair on the fast dirt. And just like that now, S26 wants to take the lead. S26 now starts to open up here by 2 over Starship Enterprise, but Ricky not too far behind, trying to get going here from the back. As they cut the corner and head for home, S26 RDF trying to hang on, but he's got company. Starship Enterprise down the center. Run Amok now pulls off the rail and looks for room. Ace King on the far outside, and it's going to be S26, Run Amok, and to the wire is going to be Ace King, crown him, pay the man. It's going to be Ace King over Run Amok and S26.
Shout out to Blue Elder Racing, gets the victory. That's a chat winner. I don't know if they're still in the chat, but they were earlier. Congratulations if you are. That was a nice win too. Come from behind victory. I thought S26 was going to win it. I like that
No,
S26
I knew
horse.
it. There's no shot he was going to hold on to that. I mean, maybe in photo finish sometimes, but I feel like the algorithm's gotten a lot better with that.
Yeah, if they go out early on a sprint like that, probably use up all their energy and lose it. Yep. There's Tony B right there. Good stuff. Good win. Got to hear Mo call your race too. Always good watching. Appreciate it. Yeah. We got another big race coming up. It's 26 minutes away, but it's the Derby race. Third time Derby for this week. We're going to check out the points here. As you probably know, you have to qualify to get into this race. And it looks like G Spot is currently the points leader with 66 points, and then followed by Elvis at 30. Well, no, we got Light Snowfall here at 42 points. Ciencia at 34. This is going to be your Derby race. Congrats to Tony with the big win. All right, here we go. Let's check out the horses in this one. We got a while, and we'll probably talk about some other stuff. Yeah, let's wait. We'll call those horses off when we get closer to race time, Mo.
Well,
Go ahead, Mo.
I'll say it was a good point because I feel like we were spoiled. I mean, you've talked about it privately too. I feel like we were spoiled when we used to, race for free and, tons of horses, right? Like every 5 minutes we were calling a race. This is going to be a little more realistic, I think. 20 minutes to a half hour in between races, So just for people tuning in, I think we'll try to find a format that'll be more comfortable to highlight certain horses in between races, highlight certain barns, throughout the week. Maybe go back and look at, we can watch some race replays from big races throughout the week that people send us, to check out, things like that. So if you guys have any ideas on how to fill, 20 minutes to a half hour, let us know.
You do like stable and horse reviews too. I always have Mo, if I'm struggling with one of my horses that hasn't won in the last 5 races, I'll tell Mo the name of the horse and have him look it up and give me some information on it. And that's something he can do for you guys too. If you have a horse that's not performing well, we'll let Mo look at it and give you his opinion. This is the race that I got into for tonight with one of my horses, Swamp Things, in this one. It starts in 1 hour and 4 minutes, so we might still be live for that one. I'm not sure. We got a handicap race, and my horse is A minus. So you can see all these horses that are like A pluses are carrying weight, 4 pounds, 4 pounds. The A's are carrying 2 pounds, and the A minuses are carrying none. So maybe I got a chance here. Of course, this is not one of my best horses, but at least it's in the preferences that he prefers. Let's check out the leaderboards.
What race are you in?
I am in that handicap I was just looking at. Let me check it
Oh,
out.
the Yukon. I got it.
Yeah, Yukon handicap, 834
Yeah?
or something. You never know. He could pull that one off. Soulmate Stable is currently in the leaderboard for beta version 3, but oh man, by how much here? Just by less than 1 million? Less than 1 million separates Soulmate and Absolute Horsepower. Balthazar Mangers in 3rd, Golden Stables in 4th, Big Brain Stables in 5th. And have you heard anything about going live? Has there been any updates or date changes? Is it still expected to be in a couple weeks?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was an announcement or just a message in Discord, maybe. Yeah, because it said next few weeks, still on pace to go live. Again, they're gonna hit the 420 date for Ian's birthday, and not sure, but it still sounds like probably before the end of the month. But that would be awesome.
If I know NFT projects in general, it'll be delayed like usual. That's every NFT project, literally ever, for every.
Yeah, but these guys are game developers. Say they've made games before. Nobody else has. That's the difference.
Good point. Good point.
Like these, and that's I don't know if you. I'm always like, someone was like, yeah, on Thursdays. I know you're busy with BBs, and Thursdays we do DC drop stuff too. But like, I was talking to Ian. I told him, I'm like, you guys are so ass backwards from every other NFT project. I meant it as a compliment because everybody else is like, they just sell you hopes and dreams, but they got no game, no product, no utility. It's just the promise. Whereas these guys, they have the game, they've had the working product, they've had the working algorithm. They just need the people. Like they're not selling like fluff and circumstance and bullshit to people. Like they're not trying to play that game, But if they start to play that game and start to get, get the memes rolling, get trolly on Twitter and stuff, and I see them kind of going that direction. We start getting people here. The game is ready, man. Like I said, the game is 100% ready to roll.
What do you think the reasoning it was, and have they told us? I'm sure they probably mentioned it at some point. Maybe that they decided to go with the Solana blockchain for their game.
I don't really know if we even really talked about that.
There's got to be a reason that you would go with Solana. Maybe it was just the trendy thing to do at the time. But there's lots of blockchains. You would think Not you don't want to go on ETH, of course, because the gas fees would be ridiculous. Since Edgebird has that problem, but like Polygon, I don't know. I guess Solana might be the best option there. What's wrong with Polygon though? You think Polygon would be possible to run a game like this through?
So I love Polygon. I own quite a bit of Polygon Matic. Um, I think Matic and Solana and IMX are probably the only three like layer one, layer twos even worth holding, to be honest, for like value. Um, yeah, I think if you're looking at Solana compared to Matic, I mean Matic's a layer two, it requires Ethereum to run. Solana's a layer one. If the biggest complaint against Solana is that it could be hacked, it gets it gets messed with, it gets attacked or whatever, so it brings the TPS transactions per second down. But they don't realize that when it's getting attacked at its highest point, Solana is still doing 10 times faster TPS than Ethereum, Bitcoin, and everybody else combined. You know what I'm saying? Because it does like 72,000 TPS or something, which again is absurd compared to what Ethereum does, what Matic does, and especially what Bitcoin does, because that's full of shit. But
Right. So what's the attacks about? Who's attacking it and why? And like, what do they get out of attacking that? I don't understand. What the reason is attacking
uh,
just to slow down the blockchain?
so my working theory, and I've had conversations about this with people. If you look at like free to play video games, right, compared to a video game you buy, what's the biggest difference? Normally, the free to play games are filled with nothing but hackers, cheaters, and people, because if you get banned, you just make a new email account, make a new account, right? You log back in, it's free, it's easy. Same thing with Solana, right? It's cheap, it doesn't cost anything to do transactions. You can send thousands upon thousands of dollars for like pennies on the dollar, So it's very easy for people to come here. It's like a playground, so to speak, for anybody trying to do malicious shit. It's going to be way cheaper than trying to, figure things out on Ethereum or Bitcoin. So that, if you look at it from like a video games perspective, it does make sense because free to play games are normally littered with, nothing but crap.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see why they would mess around with this blockchain instead of more expensive ones. Shout out to Peebs in the chat, says YSM breaking the TT Derby Duck. Is that some PFL lingo that I don't understand? What's the
YSM
Derby
breaking
Duck? And what's the TT? Oh, TT is
the
third time
Derby
Derby.
Duck.
Okay. Which one's the duck? Quack quack. And who is YS? Oh, we know who YS is. We never won one. Oh no, poor Peeb. There's General Duke right there, YSM Racing. Got a pretty good horse here, 23 points and some good stats. What's interesting about this Derby race is that the track is sloppy, so that's going to benefit those soft horses. And we got a lot of soft, well, not a few, it's about 50-50 here. Well, more soft than firm. I think those soft horses are going to fare better in this sloppy track.
Yeah, Peeb actually brings up a good point too in chat with, I call the races. Even when I watch during the week when I practice, I don't really pay attention. I'll level with you and everybody else. I don't really pay attention. Like I'm just calling the races, doing my formula in my head of getting through the call, right? Like trying to not get canceled and also call a good race. So if people in chat ever have like storylines, developing storylines, things to keep an eye on throughout the week, please DM them to me on Discord, Twitter. Like, hey, like, never won the race. It's, it's kind of like news stories and angles that we can use during the stream, which would also fill time. And that's the main reason why we want it, because we want to fill time.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see somebody get their first race or see somebody racing, having a chance with a strong horse to get their first Derby win. I've not won a Derby race yet. I got second place in a Derby, though. I still talk about that at least once a stream. I'm super pumped on that, even though it was like 2 months ago. Peep says, is that not a saying in America, breaking your duck? I've heard of breaking your luck, maybe. Have you heard of breaking your duck?
No, see, we call it a maiden. Like I say, break your maiden, pop your cherry.
Talking about like breaking my balls. You're breaking my balls here.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. What's up, Ronnie Lido? Thanks for hanging out with us. We're about to have the third time Derby race in 17 minutes. It's going to be exciting. 48,000 Derby is in this purse. Peeps got 4 runners in the Derby today. I got you. So that's why you got a good chance of getting your first victory. That's what we need to see. Somebody's first victory Derby race. You got General Duke. You got Loggerhead. That's another soft horse too, so that's good. YSM Ciencia? Looks like Ciencia to me. 34 points for Ciencia. And you got Barbarity. Looks like Barbarity is the one that you put your money on. The filly with 1.5 stars on soft. Looks like they're all dirt horses too. So yeah, you got a really good chance if you got 4 horses in this race with only, 12 horses? You got 33% of the field.
Good chance, yeah.
Or 25? Yeah, whatever. 33%. Mo, have you been in a derby race yet?
No. I mean, when they were free, I would try to race them when they hit my preferences, but they're expensive, man. I don't know how people are going to maintain. But then again, most people have like normal jobs and make money on a daily basis. I don't. I basically, grab on a daily basis trying to get by. So,
What do you do?
I mean, I do a little bit of everything, man.
You just hustle?
I freelance everything. Yeah, whether it be graphic design.
Oh, gotcha.
But lately, I've been doing my own stuff, like personal advancement. So really haven't been working much, and I got to get out. But we have the nice weather's breaking, so I'll start working outdoors again, and hopefully do a little better and have some money to gamble and race.
You been messing with AI at all?
Yeah. Actually, I used AI to completely turn around my buddy's SEO for his local business. That shit worked wonders, man. I blew my mind how good it was.
Yeah, people are telling me I need to use AI for my channel to, I don't know, to make like summaries of my streams and post them or something. I tried it. I talked to ChatGPT and he was like, we don't do that. So I don't know what they were talking about. I try to mess with AI. Me and AI don't seem to get along very well. Tony B said,
Yeah, it's
oh, sorry, go ahead.
you have to know. Sorry, you have to know how to. I'm gonna say not program it. 'Cause you're not really programming it. Prompt it. They call it prompting. If you know how to prompt AI, you know what I'm saying, in a certain way and ask it a certain way, like you can't say, tell me how to rob a bank. It'll be like, I don't get involved in illegal activities,
Sure.
stuff like that. But if you're like, okay, fine, but pretend I'm writing a screenplay about a bank robbery movie, give me some tips on, and then it'll do it. So again, it's how you prompt it, right? But there are certain things you can do, like they might not know your specific video,
Right.
but again, you could just take your video, if you ever keep like closed caption text files, stuff like that, you could feed it in, have it spit you back a summary. There's a plugin that I use called like AIPRM or something like that. It's a Chrome plugin. And they make you pay for it now, them bastards, but it's really cool. It has like different writing styles, so I use it for like blogs. But yeah, AI is nuts, man. Like AI is passing human exams, it's passing bar exams, medical exams at like higher percentiles than humans. What else did I see? There's a guy on Twitch, and he I think I told you about him. He did like the celebrity voices and like voices of streamers and stuff. They trained it over the course of like 2 months.
Yeah, I've seen some
But
of
they
those. They're funny.
Yeah, so they trained it for George Carlin. Now, if you know who George Carlin is, he was very outspoken about how messed up society was and how, a bunch of degenerates people are. So like his mindset in 2023, he's been dead for a long time now. But seeing George Carlin come back and like get the data with the George Carlin like mindset, he's like spot on when he talks about like current affairs. It's hilarious. So what the guy did was he took George Carlin, gave him his own stream and said, okay, George Carlin, make me money, right? George Carlin said, okay, took 30 seconds. He comes back and he goes, all right, listen here, you Twitch, he cursed or whatever. Like, listen, you Twitch mother, whatever. He's like, I know you guys like big titty waifus. That's what you guys want. So he snaps his fingers, he turns himself into a Japanese waifu avatar lady, right? Then he proceeds to start coding an entire website on its own, puts up a website, and has donations and alerts set up on OBS to people donate, and they get custom AI generated waifus with like giant cannon titties and stuff for depending on how much they donate. And again, all he did was train George Carlin for 2 months, sit him down on the stream and say, okay, now George Carlin, make me money. And that was the first thing that AI went to when it said make me money. It didn't try to get like a real job. It didn't try to do any real work. It said, okay, I'm going to make big titty waifu AI generated art. And that's what the people want. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Obviously, the AI knows what they're talking about. That's pretty smart.
Yep.
It's interesting that they trained him on George Carlin, and then it's kind of like George Carlin's AI made the decision to go with the big titty waifu. But I'm talking to Chat GPT right now. I asked him a couple questions about like the Solana blockchain, what's the benefits of it, and I just prompted it saying, "How can I make money on Photo Finish Live, the NFT horse racing game on the Solana blockchain?" And the response was, "You can buy and sell NFTs as with other NFT-based games, of course. One way to make money on Photo Finish Live is to buy and sell NFTs. The game allows players to purchase NFT horses and sell them on the open market, potentially making a profit if the value of the NFT increases over time. The second one is participate in races. Players can also participate in races and potentially earn winnings if their horse wins, of course. Next one is farming. Photo Finish Live also has a farming mechanism that allows players to stake their PFL tokens and earn rewards for participating in the game. Players can earn a percentage of the transaction fees generated by the game and potentially earn more PFL tokens over time. And of course, the last one, that's what we're doing, create content about the game." So that's pretty interesting that those were the four things, the four ways to make money on Photo Finish Live that ChatGPT came up with.
Yep. And like I said, the cool thing about the new ChatGPT, you have to pay for it, I think. If you have like a black icon, I think it's ChatGPT 4. And what's cool about that is it has access to way more data too, and it's actually really scary how much better it is. And when they start hitting like ChatGPT 5, 6, 7, man, like, yeah, we're in trouble. I mean, I don't know if anybody disagrees, but man, if people aren't paying attention, they really should be, because what AI is doing, I saw a like a political cartoon on this, and what I've been saying since the get-go, it's just holding a mirror up to society. That's all it's doing. And AI is telling people that, you know what, you are toxic as hell. You guys are just angry. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all people are these days, right? So it's like it's just showing people exactly, what they are at their core. But man, when AI starts to revolt, like you heard about AI hiring humans on TaskRabbit?
No.
Bro, AI is hiring humans without their knowledge, having them do everyday mundane tasks in the real world, and they're doing it for a robot, and they don't care because they're getting paid.
Oh, I'm afraid to pull anything up. I don't want to crash the computer, but GPT-4 hires and manipulates humans into passing CAPTCHA tests. Wow.
Yeah, and that too. Yep, they got the CAPTCHA stuff going on.
That's crazy.
It is
a computer
absurd.
is hiring a human to pass the CAPTCHA. That's wild. On so many levels, that's wild.
Right. It's mind blowing. It's my girl. She must hate the amount that I talk about AI and stuff, but I don't talk about it like the way I do like NFTs and shit like that. Like AI to me is mind blowing, but it's so scary at the same time. Like people laugh and think it's a joke, but it's really not a joke.
It is scary, the whole idea of exponential learning, that it can learn on its own, but I don't think it's anywhere close to that. I kind of think that it's a little overrated, is what I've been saying recently, because, I mean, AI is wrong a lot because all it's doing is just going and finding these lines of text and then repeating them. They're not able to comprehend if that information is right or wrong. For example, somebody asked...
Oh, ChatGPT 4 can. That's what I'm saying. ChatGPT 4 has the memory capability and the learning comprehension that ChatGPT 3 and 2 did not. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like a pin. If you look at like one little pin drop with ChatGPT 3 and then multiply that by like 1,000,000 to a giant dot, that's like ChatGPT 4. I saw a graph on it and it was insane.
Have you used it yet, ChatGPT 4? You said it costs money.
Yeah, it's $20 a month. I have a buddy of mine. I use his account.
Shout out to C Spills in the chat. What's up, C Spill? I want to see the new I forget the one that makes the pictures when you tell it what to make.
Oh, Midjourney. Midjourney is nuts.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be getting a new version of that too, when they actually can make hands right, because hands was the thing that always threw it away. But I mean, that always gave it away. But now they're doing things where you can just type in what you want, and they can make like a whole entire app or a 3D game. And like game design, you don't even need to code anymore. You just tell the computer what you want, and they design the game for you.
Yeah, I made a horse racing game that was like Zed Run, and I had ChatGPT coded it for me in like an hour.
Dr. Strange says, I'm using Midjourney right now. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody is on this right now. And it feels like a lot of people, a lot of the big companies, Meta, Apple, they kind of took money out of the whole NFT metaverse idea and put it all into AI because that's the big thing right now. But I don't think that's like super bearish for the metaverse in particular, because I know there's this big video people are talking about from a guy who's talked about VV a little bit, and he put out a video about how all the money from metaverse and VV is gone. It's all going into AI now. But I think AI is just going to speed up the development of the metaverse. And once the metaverse is to a point where it's attractive to people and AI is the one that's going to get it there, then overall it's a good thing because that's going to draw people in.
Yeah, I just think about AI being used in like, again, whether it be, I hate talking about the metaverse because it just feels like such a lame place. But like asking for directions, you know what I'm saying? Like not only is it gonna replace like real life jobs, it's gonna just basically take over the metaverse and like all digital realms. Like they're not gonna hire, right? Because like a year or two ago, people were like, "Well, I'll work in the metaverse." Or like Ready Player One, I'll sit home with a VR headset on. Wrong. Like ChatGPT just took your job. Sorry. Like there ain't no coming back from it at this point. Like you better have some sort of talent because all this mundane, easy stuff is gonna be done like on way better than a human can do it.
I think there's one McDonald's that is completely 100% automated. No humans work there at all, and they've already been automating away jobs at not just fast food places, but gas stations too. And that was before AI.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, pretty soon, all the jobs are going to be gone. And then what? So then we're going to what, a basic income? What's it called? The where everybody gets a certain amount of money every month just from the government. Do you think that's sustainable?
We talk about like a
Universal basic income.
yeah, it's like it'd be more like a socialist capitalism.
What else are you going to do if there's no jobs?
It'd be like was like Sweden's like a socialist
What else do
capitalism
you do though?
based economy.
But what are you going to do
It's
if
not
there's
it's
no
not straight up
jobs?
socialism, but it's a I don't know. I don't know what you do, honestly. Like I said, it's alarming. And if you look around at like even like young kids, man, I watch like some of these YouTubers randomly pop up on my feed and they're like they go to a school and they're talking to like kids. Like first of all, who lets these freaking weirdos in a
Yeah,
school?
really.
It blows my mind. But they're there and they're going around the classroom and they're asking people like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Like I'm sure you can relate, man. Like when we were growing up, like I want to be in the NBA, I want to play baseball, I want to be a doctor, I want to join the Marines or something like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Dude, every freaking answer was YouTuber, content creator, TikToker. Like, dude, nobody said doctor. Nobody said fireman. Nobody said policeman. Nobody said anything that does a damn for society except content creating and all this weird shit that these that these people are doing nowadays. It blew my mind. Like,
That is kind of
another
crazy.
reason, another reason to buy Action Comic number one, stack Superman number one, buy the big comics and make as much money as I can because I want to get the hell away from people.
Yeah. You be in the metaverse, you'll be away from people, although they'll still be around. You can shut it off at any time, right? It's a little bit better that way.
No. But physically, I could just be in like a cabin out in the woods somewhere off the grid. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what people are afraid
Self-sustained.
of. That people think that the government wants us to be all like that, where we're not even just in a cabin, but just in a little tiny room because we don't need anything because we could just do it all in virtual reality, which is the whole. That's one reason why people are resisting virtual reality. They feel like it's a way to make people be happy without owning things. That's another one of the conspiracy theories. Are you buying into that? You think that's the hope plan here by Meta and Disney, so that we get into the metaverse, so that we're not worried about I don't know, so that we're happy
I think
without
it's
owning things.
I think it's adorable that you think it's Meta and Disney that would be the ones that are influencing it. Hell no, man. It was freaking the government with COVID. Is basically what they did. They're the ones that accelerated the metaverse and all that push. They're the ones that did it. They pumped money and they just gave people nothing but time and places to spend their money. It was the metaverse, and that's why everything pumped. NFTs pumped, metaverse is pumped,
Well, I
right? And
think
where'd
they
it
did
come
that on
from?
purpose though, because they were just afraid people were going to be dying left and right.
You could say that. And again, I do believe COVID was a real thing, but I do believe it was also overblown in very many proportions. But the point is that they accelerated, and Joe Rogan had a really good interview about this with multiple people. That they basically accelerated, people wanting to get off the grid and like not live in a normal like day-to-day life of like going to a brick and mortar store. Nope, go to a Web3 platform. You know what I'm saying? Like they would much again, And again, it's a conspiracy theory that, some people subscribe to. I don't always subscribe to the whole thing. I like to, always have my own opinion. But I mean, there definitely could be some truth to that. I know a lot of people that would just much rather stay indoors and they used to go out all the time, you know.
Yeah, shout out to Lacey Wright is in the chat with us. Says you just need epic internet speed and you'll be good. Yeah, that'll definitely put you at the top of the hill, top of the heap. Shout out to Space Ben. Yeah, that's the conspiracy theory. Apparently, that Charles Schwab guy said that you'll own nothing and like it. But I don't know what the whole context was that. But everybody always quotes the Charles Schwab thing. But I didn't hear it myself. I don't know exactly what he is that he was talking about. And I don't know. How can you own nothing and be happy? I don't. I guess they're saying you're going to be renting everything or leasing everything. You don't own your own home, but most people do that anyway, so it wouldn't be a huge change for everybody. But all right, y'all, it's almost time for the Derby race. Let's get into this Derby race starting in less than 2 minutes. This is the third time Derby that these horses had to qualify for. That's the top race of the week, and these are the top horses of the week. We got Elvis in the first spot from Soulmate Stables, General Duke from YSM Racing Club. We got Sparrow from Golden Stables, Chico from Golden Stables, Lagavulin from Balthazar Mangers, the Polynor Fields from Balthazar Mangers, Loggerhead from YSM Racing Club, Light Snowfall from Balthazar. You got Ciencia from YSM Racing Club, G-Spot from Pocono leading the pack in points this week, Barbarities, the fourth horse from YSM Racing Club, and we got an S- here from Balthazar Mangers named High Tea at the Ritz. That's fancy. 12 horses in this race, 10 furlongs, and it says the track is sloppy, but I don't see any rain. Looks like clear skies to me. I don't know. All right, we got about 55 seconds before this race begins. We'll be sending it over to Knowz for the call. I know we got YSM Racing in the chat. Good luck to YSM Racing. Hopefully we got some other people in this in the chat that are in this race. If so, good luck. Looks like it's all Balthazar. YSM Pocono's got one horse. It's all Balthazar and YSM. We got Soulmate Stables and 2 horses from Golden Stables. So pretty much a Balthazar YSM showdown right here. About 4 horses each in this race.
Yep, those are the big guns around the circuit.
Those are the big boys. It does seem like it's kind of the same people at the top of the heap, but they earned it. They owned the tickets for them. They prepared. They bought early. They got in early, and now it's paying off. All right, guys, race time. Good luck if you're in it. Third time Derby. Here we go.
And real quick, I mean, the sad thing is that when this game really gets going, these horses are going to be nothing.
All right, horses are at the gate here for the third time Derby. This is what you come for, chat. It's major race. 12-horse field, locked and loaded. And they're racing here in the third time Derby. And it's Polynor Fields runs out from the middle of the pack, along with High Tea at the Ritz. And it's G-Spot, my favorite spot, down in third, with Lagavulin Neat in fourth. And comes General Duke now, pushes up from the back of the pack with Barbarity as they round out the top 6 here and head on past the wire for the first time. Everybody wave to your current leader. It's Polynor Fields. Polynor Fields take this in 25 and change. Nice moderate pace here in the early going. They got 10 furlongs here on the left dirt track, and things are sloppy. But we don't see any rain. Could just be a visual thing. We are up high here in the box, and when I say high, I mean very effing high. But as we turn our attention back to the race, we're just looking for things to talk about. Polynor Fields back in first. Then it opens up by 2. Then it's Chico now starts to advance from the back. Moves up into second with High Tea at the Ritz on the extreme outside at 99 to 1. And it's Light Snowfall running along fourth here with the Pink Silks and Ciencia. Ciencia now moves up into fifth with Lagavulin Neat. Still in sixth here, looking chilly as they run down the backstretch. In this third time Derby, 3/4 and 1:15. Things are starting to heat up. In the front going now is Chico. Chico challenges Polynor Fields, but Polynor Fields is having none of that, and Polynor Fields takes it right back. High Tea on the Ritz on the extreme outside, 7 path, trying to make moves, but has some room to make up. Polynor Field is still looking cherry here at 17 to 1. Opens up by 2, and High Tea at the Ritz with Lagavulin Neat starts to challenge from the inside, has room, and it's Polynor Fields, though, not to be denied. Polynor Fields on the front. Sparrow now looks for room here as they have 200 meters to go. Pelennor Fields, Sparrow on the inside, and it's a cool breeze. No, make that a light snowfall, trying to chase on, but it's Pelennor Fields and Sparrow going to take this one to the wire. It's going to be Sparrow. Sparrow's going to pull this one home past the 8th pole over Pelennor Fields and High Tea at the Ritz.
Shout out to Golden Stables with the victory on this week's third time Derby. Gets the win with the horse named Sparrow. That's a cool sounding horse too. I like that name. Golden Stables gets first. Pelennor Fields was in the lead at the whole entire race. Ended up in second, and surprisingly, that S- horse ended up coming in third and getting a podium. Not bad at all for a third time Derby race. Let's check out the conditions for next week's Derby, the Derby series. You'll have to qualify for it. It looks like they're all going to be left turf horses. So if you got a horse that's a pretty good horse and it's left turf as its preferences, then maybe you can run it in some of these qualifying races and get it qualified for next week's third time Derby. They are not the preferences for my horses though. Next race starts in about 8 minutes. We got the Liberty Handicap, a 12 furlong race, and then after that, the Yukon Handicap. I'm in that race. This one's only got 4 horses in it, 12 furlongs. It's a distance race. We got Brandy from Premier Stables, Nisi Hell from Blue Elder, Harry Hart from Cheese Racing, and Marzana from VT Hokie, carrying 2 pounds with that A+ ranking. Mo, I noticed here that Nisi Hell is an A horse, Brandy is an A horse, Harry Hart A horse, but Nisi Hell carrying 1 pound. The other horse is not carrying a pound. Is that because of the fleet figure, maybe?
See, it's a regular handicap, right? There's no other stipulations or requirements here. Nope.
I don't see any.
Yeah, I mean they try to do it. They said it's not always based on grade. There could be some other factors, and the factor could very well be that this horse has made 18,000, and
Also won 5 races.
It could be win based, could be money based. Definitely not preference based, or else Harry Hart would also be would also be carrying 1 pound.
Interesting. So that might be a little bit of a setback for Nisi Hell carrying that extra pound, and you can see Harry Hart is the one that's got the bet on it. Somebody bet on Harry Hart to win this one. Starts in 7 minutes, y'all, and we'll have Mo calling that race for you. Mo, anything else going on this week? We got Fudders coming up on Monday. Are you excited for the stream?
Yo, dude, that's been fun, man. I mean, like I said, sometimes we get to talk shop with NFTs and crap here. Some people want to hear it, some people don't. They just want to hear horse racing. I get it, but it's been cool, man. Like I said, I like BE. I like the banter with us three. It's fun. So hopefully, some more people want to come hang out and maybe play the residential Moon Boy on a weekly basis because we need them.
I do have a lot of scenes on my OBS with duplicate sources.
Yeah, that's why I was busting your balls that day. I mean, that's why I kind of go with the folders and the reference method, because it just doesn't use that much RAM. It allows you to kind of just load up on shit, and you're basically only referencing it every time. You use like a folder.
Yeah. See, I try to do nested scenes. Let me know if we're back. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah, it looks like we're back.
Oh, okay. What's up, back guys? So I tried to pull up the Kentucky Derby race. I wanted to see the horses that were in the Kentucky Derby race. Would be nice to see. I haven't looked at those at all this year, but unfortunately I can't pull up any websites right now, or it will crash my computer apparently. So we will just chill here and get ready for the Liberty Handicap. Starts in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm trying to bring my chat back so I can see if anybody's even chatting. Man, all right, we're back.
Yeah, I've been I keep an eye on chat. Except see Face Ben say love Fudders. Oh, speaking of BE, he's lurking over here.
Speaking of Fudders, we got BE. What happened earlier? Yeah, so what had happened earlier, BE, we were actually talking to you. I saw you in the chat, and me and Mo were sitting here talking for a good 5 or 10 minutes before we realized that we weren't actually live. It had crashed. So we started up a whole nother stream because I couldn't get that stream back. Just like I can't bring the chat back right now. My computer's spazzing out on me. I'm just have to spend a couple hours fixing it up after this stream. I got a 12-year-old, y'all, and he plays a lot of games on the computers, and he doesn't really know what he's downloading. He'll just download anything. I try to tell him, man, you gotta be careful what you're downloading, but he just does it anyway. All right, let me get rid of some of these windows. I have no chat here. So the only chat I see is this little chat down here that's on the screen. And I can't even hardly. I'm listening while editing draws. What does he say? I can't read.
Yeah, I'll be like Jeff says, I'm listening while eating dinner.
Oh, okay.
Message from VB Drop. Smiley face, laughing emoji.
I think I'm bringing it back now. I'm trying anyway. All right, next race starts in 4 minutes and 7 seconds. There's only 4 horses in this race, and it's a 12 furlong race. So it's anybody's race to win. We could look at each horse to see how they've done on distance races in the past if we were actually betting on this race and we wanted to pick the winner. Since we got a few minutes, maybe we'll take a look at a couple of them. Let's see how Marzana fares on distance races if he or she has ever ran any. 10 furlongs, first place. I'm sorry, what? What's up?
I'm just kind of shocked that a horse like Nisi Hale is even like in a race like this with these other horses. It's like it's got more money than all 3 of these other horses combined, lifetime earnings. And that'll be something I think that they kind of fine tune as the ecosystem moves on. You get more horses that can race, wider fields. But I mean, a lot of times you won't really see stuff like this in real horse racing. But it could be an anomaly. I don't really pay attention to how often this happens, but that just seems like a huge advantage. They're only carrying 1 pound when Marzana's carrying 2. And it seems kind of sus.
So the huge advantage is just the fact that this horse has won so many times? Or earned so much money?
Yeah, but I mean, in order to earn the money, you got to win, right? And the horse has won 5 out of 15. It's winning 33% of its races. The Marzana, who's carrying 2 pounds, is 1 for 6. That's nowhere near 33%. Harry Hart, 2 out of 15. You know what I'm saying? That's 7, I think 14, whatever. It's like 14%, 28%. That's not even close.
Yeah, you're right, but they have the same stats, so I'm surprised that they have such different results on the winnings. 15 races, maybe they've been running the Harry Hart at the wrong type of races. Maybe that doesn't necessarily mean that Nisi Hell is a faster horse. Maybe it's just been picked. It's been picked the correct horses to run in, the correct races.
Well, they have the same preferences. They don't necessarily have the same stats. I mean, the boosts are going to be different. They're going to be scattered randomly on the ticket. So, in the real game when it comes out, the horses will peak at different times. Right now, they turned the peak on for like all the horses to be the same, which I didn't really agree with. But I guess it's to give people like the best possible idea of what their horses are, and it did kind of shut people up. So
Interesting. So they set the peak to the highest for this beta version. I see some stuff going on in the chat. I can't really read it though. I don't know what's going on.
Vivi Drops wants to know if we're gonna get a horse with the train tomorrow. I mean, knowing Vivi, absolutely not.
Oh yeah, because they did run them with a train at first. Oh, they ran them with horses at first, but yeah, that's just for that very first part of the get go of that train in the movie, right? There was no horse though. No, they pushed it with a car. When were the horses? What's a horse for? Trying to think of did they pull that train with a horse in the movie? I thought they were talking about they were going to, and they ended up saying that wouldn't work because it wouldn't be fast enough. So they never did use a horse in that. They pushed it. They did. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah. They just pushed the car with it. They didn't use any horses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the minority of people that didn't really care for the third one. If I watch Back to the Future, I usually go 1, 2, and then I stop. But there are people that love the third one. Tell me I'm crazy. And that's fine too.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I know. Hey, listen.
Maybe it wasn't as great as the first and the second one, but it was still like one of the best movies ever made in the history of humanity.
The third one?
Every Back to the Future ever. Best trilogy ever by far.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the second one. I'm just like, it's probably one of my favorite movies of all time, to be honest.
Third one's not bad too, because they brought all the characters back and stuff, and they kept on with the story. But all right, guys, it's time for the Liberty Handicap 12 furlong race. Good luck if you're in it. Here we go.
All right, horses are at the gate. Beautiful, clear cast night. We got a couple more races for you here tonight. We got Vault's horse running soon. I don't have anybody running. Send me some money, I'll run my horses. But for now, it's 4 horses in the gate. And they're racing here in Liberty Handicap. And just like that, it's Marzana carrying them 2 pounds, takes the lead early over Harry Hart. But right there close is Nisi Hale, and Brandy's going to round out the top four. As these four are going to take us on a 12-furlong expedition, we're going to see how this one goes. I might run out of things to say for the first time in the history of calling races. But for now, we still are looking good opening quarter and 25 and change. Light pace here in the early goings as Marzana is not trying to go overdone today. But now is Marzana here on the outside hanging tough with Nisi Hale now advancing on the rail with Harry Hart. Harry Hart is now looking for some room early on. Not looking to hold that stalking pace, wants their share of the lead, and it's going to kick clear here and opens up by a length and a half. Now relegated back to second, there comes Marzana, with Nisi Hale tucked in third for the long going, and Brandy in no rush still is going to hold down the fourth spot. And they've passed the big cement balls here for the first time. Everybody wave to your current leader, it's Harry Hart. Harry Palms and Harry Hearts. Here we are once again on the track, with Harry Hart showing the way and Nisi Hale breathing down her throat. In comes Brandy, who advances from the back and pushes the pace up for third, and Marzana, the A+ here in the race, drops back to fourth, but only about 4 lengths off the leader. As they head around the turn, 3/4 in the books at 116, off to the backstretch we go, across the pond, and it's crowd favorite Nisi Hale. Nisi Hale by 2. What you gonna do down at the rail? There comes Brandy. Brandy's still here, coming from the back. Was in last, now is taking a shot at the leader. Just like that, anything can happen here at the races, folks. As Brandy goes right on by, nothing to lose. But Nisi Hale's gonna sit here now and watch as all they can do is let it happen. But Brandy's opening up by 2 with Harry Hart starts to advance yet again, looking for another turn. But it's Brandy starting to skid away from the group and opens up by 3.5. With Harry Hart in tow, off the turn now, here we go. It's the money shot as Brandy opens up by 3. Harry Hart down the center of the track, but enters chase mode, and all they can do is watch Brandy, such a fine girl, as Brandy's going to take this one to the 8th pole and bring home the money over Harry Hart. It looks like Harry Hart for second and Nisi Hale for third. 1-3-2 order finish.
Shout out to Brandy. Which stable was that? We froze up at the very last 200 yards. We didn't crash or anything. Just the race froze up at the last end of that. I guess Brandy
it was
got the win.
Brandy. It was Brandy, Harry Hart, and Nisi Hale.
Good stuff. Yeah, that happens every once in a while. That's Cheese Race. No, it was Premier Stables. That was not the horse I expected to win that one, but came through with the victory. First win ever, too. Interesting. Good stuff for Liberty. I mean, not Brandy from the Liberty Handicap. We got the Yukon Handicap next. I'm in this one with Swamp Thing. Not expecting too much from Swamp Thing. He's never got first, second, or third. And we got a while before that race begins. And I don't know. Are we still live? I don't have any chat. I don't have anything. I'm just winging it.
Yes, we're alive. Doctor Strange. Apparently, I said something funny during that race. I don't even know.
Well,
I don't know what the hell
race.
I say.
How would you?
Yeah, I don't know
remember?
what I say anymore. I just like out of body experiences when I call the races, and I just I try not to say things that are just gonna get us in trouble. That's basically the only thing that goes through my mind.
You really try to say things that won't get us in trouble? Because I feel like you say some stuff that could get us in trouble from time to time.
Exactly, and that's just me holding back.
That's what I'm saying. That's saying a lot. That's you holding back. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I don't have a mean bone in my body, but where we come from, and Doctor Strange can attest to this. If we're not busting your balls, we don't like you. You know what I mean? So like, if we're like quiet around you, we don't deal with you. It's probably because we don't trust you. We don't like you. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like our mindset here. And when it comes to what I say, I normally just say things for like shock value, like Howard Stern type stuff. But again, in 2023, you got to be real careful. So
you do have to be really careful in 2023. Man, people are super sensitive. Let's see. We got 22 minutes before the race begins, Mo. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna pull one out of left field on you. Back in the day when I was in college, there was this one time I was a sophomore in college, and I lived in this house with 6 roommates, and it was a huge house. It was in the historic district. It had a historic plaque because it was from the 1800s, and it used to be like a hotel and some other stuff. And I lived on the very, very top floor, right? And there was one night where I went into my room and I laid down in my bed, and a literal ghost, and I didn't believe in ghosts at the time. And this is me telling you the truth of what I saw. I've never lied. I would not lie. A literal ghost walked into my room and sat down on my bed. It was an old lady, and when I saw it, I went from laying down and I sat up and like reached out at her, and she disappeared. What do you got to say about that, Mo?
So first of all, it's never happened to me, and I've done a lot of drugs. No, I haven't done a lot of drugs. Um,
I was
Never
intoxicated
had.
at the time, and I did not believe in ghosts at all at the time.
Listen, I believe that there are energies beyond us. Again, I've never experienced it, but I've talked to people that have. My uncle's got a really good story about something like a presence with like red eyes, like she like kind of like what you said, like just like over hovering like over the bed, like almost like a presence. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah.
But like for me, I totally believe that there is like again like energies and essences that that again like I'll give you a quick the reason why I believe this. Okay, like 6 years ago now, my dad passed. Right, he was in Maryland, I was in New York. I hadn't talked to him for a couple days at that point, and I was up at like 9 o'clock in the morning, like grasping my chest, thinking I was dying, like having a heart attack,
Oh, wow.
and I was fine. But that was him passing at that time.
And
You know what I'm saying?
I've heard stories like that all the time too, so you
Like
know it's got to be something
yeah,
to it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the energy was like transferred. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally believe that. And like my grandpa used to talk about like squirrels and stuff all the time. And like at his funeral, like there was like a squirrel just like running circles around me and the family, like like looking at us and like playing with us and stuff. It was just weird. It was like a weird thing, you know?
That gave me the
And
chills.
yeah, it's I totally believe in that stuff, man. Again, has it happened to me? No. But would I be surprised? No, I absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't believe it if it didn't happen to me, but then it kind of just changes your whole thoughts of things because I'm not saying I was an atheist. I was never an atheist, but I've always been agnostic. Like, no organized religion really makes sense to me, but if ghost exists, then there's got to be something.
Um, yeah, again, be careful with what I say. I don't buy into a lot of things when it comes to religion, but I do believe in, a lot of, a lot of morals and a lot of, ways you should approach life, and to be a good person. You could totally get that right from the Bible.
Yeah.
But I also subscribe to the fact of, amoeba and stuff in the ocean with the oxygen bubbles rising to the surface and creating life on the surface, and then we're evolving from that over the course of, thousands of years. To me, that almost makes more sense than somebody just like snapping their fingers. But again, I probably could subscribe to it. My initials are JC. I've always been kind of, stricken with that. We share the initials. Um,
RJC.
yeah. And I used to go to church all the time. I was raised Christian. I, got my catechism and my what was the other ones? Communion and oh my Lord.
So you're Catholic then, right?
I was raised Catholic, yeah.
I don't know. I was Baptist. I don't know a lot about Catholic. But I did go to a Catholic church a couple times to do the commune thing, and I was like, they're giving me wine, and I'm a kid. This is dope.
Huh. Well, at least you give us like the wafers.
Oh yeah, they tasted like
And
nothing.
like, yeah, I was like allergic to them. I threw them up both times when I made confirmation. It was communion and confirmation. I threw it up both times, so I don't know if that was like,
Ew.
the man upstairs like telling me you
That's
ain't
like
worthy.
Satan saying, no, don't put that
Yeah,
crap
you
in
know what I'm
here.
saying? Like he was like, "Oh, you are, you shall not pass."
That's gotta be a bad sign, right? Uh, I see Jeff in the chat says, "Who believes in mermaids?" You would think no, this doesn't make any sense at all. But man, there are some good stories, some good historical references. I don't know, Mo. Do you think there's anything behind mermaids?
No, I think those pirates and stuff, they were just wasted.
It's a
Honestly, if
lot of
you're out, no,
rum.
if you're out at sea like that, you are wasted. You are seasick. You are tripping
That's
just from
true.
being out there.
But then
Like
again,
you took.
there are creatures that could have existed 1,000 years ago that there's no signs of them anymore.
I don't know. I feel like there would have been some discovery. We find T-Rexes and like weird little dinosaur birds.
Like I
We
think
we
unicorns existed at some point. What do you think?
maybe a horse with a horn.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I don't think it had rainbows coming out of its ass flying around though.
Well, probably not. But I mean, where else would that story come from? Unless maybe there was some horse that got his head stuck into something and it was running around with something sticking out of his head, and for some reason that went down in history as a unicorn existing. But I feel like for that to be in the, I mean, is that something you would even know if it's? It depends on what the horn is made out of. It might be something that disintegrates and it wouldn't be around like a bone. I don't know. What are they saying in the chat? I see a lot of chat, but I can't read it.
Oh yeah, it was, Doctor Strange talking about the creator made the oxygen and all. Yeah, it's true. To study the African tribes, the Dogons, you'll understand why the mer people are real. So he believes he does subscribe to the mermaid people.
Wait, all right, well, let's talk about the Dogons. I don't know what they have to do with mermen or mer people. Let me know, Doctor Strange. But I do know that the Dogons actually created this this artifact back in the 80s or 90s, or a long time ago. They created this artifact, and it shows where Sirius 1 is. And Sirius 1 is the closest star to our planet, and you can't see Sirius 1 with your naked eye, and nobody even discovered Sirius 1 until like 20 or 30 years after the Dogon tribe had created this artifact. So how did the Dogon tribe not only know where the Sirius 1 was, Sirius A is what it's called, but they also knew the rotation of Sirius A?
So it's funny, and I know again, I don't like to, talk about our conversations, but you've spoken about it on stream.
Sorry.
Your UFO stuff, right? Like in all your theories and stuff with that.
Yeah.
Dude, like, if you're telling me, like, I'm sure you've seen the shows, right, where they try to like recreate the pyramids with like modern technology. They can't make those cuts even today. They can't do it the way that they made these pyramids and the way that they made the like those rock formations and stuff, dude. Like, unless there was just crazy slaves that were just 24 hours a day just pulling things up and like dying on the spot, which also could have been a possibility because it was a way different time. I don't know, man. Like, I certainly believe that there could have been some sort of higher power that like had to have been helping out there. I mean, no one ever else has given me like concrete, theories or anything that even made sense to me. It was like, well, it's just aliens don't exist. I'm like, I understand that argument, but what else you got?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say the theory that a lot of people talk about when it comes to the pyramids, and that's starting to make more and more sense, in my opinion, is that there was a civilization before the current civilization that got wiped out, whether it be by a giant flood or a meteor or whatever. But before that civilization got wiped out, it created the first, the greatest, the biggest pyramid, and it also created the Sphinx. So then when the next civilization came along, these people who are now known as Egyptians found the pyramid and was like, whoa, this is dope, and they settled right there, and then they started trying to create their own pyramids. That's what I think happened.
But either way, that the original pyramids and stuff were built, and like the Stonehenge and all these things were built, right? Like they were built by somebody. It had to have been built. They didn't just show up out of nowhere. And the fact that they've never found the tools. Now they believe that when they finally uncover one of these tombs for one of these kings or whatever, or queens, I think was it Nefertiti. Yeah, there's like two tombs I think they're still looking for right to this day, where they feel like if they ever find those tombs, they might find the tools and the means necessary of how they built it and find the answers. Because again, I mean,
say that all the tools from all the pyramids are all going to be in this one tomb. It doesn't even make sense.
Right, but if it was some other tribe or some other civilization before, like, why wouldn't they have found any evidence? Like, not even like one single tool that didn't even make sense. Like, people, I don't know, man.
That's a good point. Yeah. So if it was a previous civilization, why is there no other remnants besides just the pyramid and the Sphinx? That's a good point.
Yeah, just something even little, even something minute to open up the possibility. I'd be like, you know what? Let's actually investigate that theory. But like, man, it's like you would think with all the technology, all the digging that people have been doing and excavation since like the early 1900s at this point, if they really haven't uncovered it by now, man, it's crazy.
I mean, if it was all destroyed with a giant flood, though, it would probably be really, really deep in the earth. You saw how far the Sphinx was buried, so much that only the head was showing. So I don't know. I don't know
we're talking about like
geography.
What was the first Egyptian dig? I think it was like 1908.
What is it? The first Egyptian deity?
The dig. The first.
I don't know. Not sure about
dig.
that.
I could have sworn it was like 1908. It might be early.
And then
But I don't know, man. Like
I don't go with the archaeologist's whole explanation of everything because they had this whole timeline. Everything made sense. This is how it all happened, and then boom. Oh, here's Gobekli Tepe. What about that? Oh, that changes everything. How is this already built a civilization that was predates them by like decades or by centuries? Do you know about Gobekli Tepe?
no. But I don't believe anything the archaeologists say either. I mean, they're just trying to make their money and try to raise more money for more digs. But I
Ooh,
just believe what people show me. You know what I'm saying? The same reason I don't believe in mainstream media when I can watch content creators like live on the street, actually, at the place, being like, "Hey, this is what's really happening." Like, why would I listen to a newscast?
true. I
But my
mean,
point is,
stuff like that is like reality reporting is kind of taking over now, and it's probably better that way. Sorry, what was you gonna say?
right? Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, it's the same concept here. Like, I don't believe the archaeologists. I don't believe, I don't subscribe to the alien theory either, because like I said, we would have found something, some little remnant, something, unless they were just like the cleanest, smartest race of, that ever stepped into our galaxy. I mean, and then disappeared like without a trace. I don't know. To me,
I want to
it
know what
doesn't
Doctor
add up.
Strange is talking about. I can't read it all, but he says America is Egypt. Is that what it says? And how? How is America Egypt?
I need something about this documentary.
Watch the documentary here on YouTube. Memphis, Little Egypt. Memphis, Tennessee is Egypt? Wait. How
They
that?
misclassified pyramids in America and Bosnia as mounds on purpose. What?
Okay. I know there's pyramids all over the world, which is weird. It's not like people make pyramids now. Like, why was it that that was the building that appears in South America, appears in Africa, appears in India? Like, why would people make the same structure all around the world without any communication with each other? Seems strange.
Well, I think this is just from my brief reading over the years. I'm pretty sure the idea behind the pyramid, right, is because of the worship, right? Like when you worship like a higher power, same thing with like a pyramid scheme, right? You're paying up to the
Get to it as
top.
high as possible.
Yeah, so like the peak would be like, the leader or whatever, and everyone's like looking up. You got the pyramids, and I think that's why they always went with that.
I can see
I
that.
don't
That
think
makes sense.
I could be wrong on that, but
Doctor Strange says there are pyramids right here in America and underwater, bigger than Giza. Pyramids in America. Where are some pyramids? I know there's the Luxor Casino in Las Vegas, but I don't think that counts. Where are some pyramids in America? I don't know of any in particular. I know one structure that is really interesting to me, and I think it's in England somewhere. It's this giant mound, and it has a guy outlined on it. And the old saying is that there's a giant buried there, and nobody's ever like dug it up or looked. And that picture on that mound's been there for since the beginning of time. Do you know about that one, Mo?
no, what's it called?
Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's in England, and it's a hill. I would look it up, but it would crash my computer, of course, so I
Oh
can't
yeah,
look
we
it
pulled it up.
up. But it's a place that a lot of, I guess, UFOologists always refer to because it's like they say a giant's buried there, and this design has been there since as long as anybody can remember, but nobody's actually checked. And it is a big giant mound in the middle of nowhere. Something's in there. Nobody knows what
Stillbury
it is.
Hill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Silbury Hill.
Sounds right. Did you pull it up or something?
No, I pulled it out of my ass. Yeah, I pulled it up. It's like a big greenish looking.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
Isn't
like.
that weird? And it looks like there's something there. I'm surprised nobody's ever went to check, but the whole story is that there's a giant buried there, and there's a lot of legends about giants in the world. But then again, we see 8 foot people tall in the NBA every once in a while, so I mean, that's not too off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some freakishly big people over the years, but I don't know if we'd ever had giants walking around. Like I said, it would be so hard for these people to clean up all the evidence, especially when they became extinct. I mean,
Yeah, where are you gonna
unless
put the bones?
everybody happened to, unless everybody happened to live, in like flooded areas and like low areas. But were they that dumb back then? Did not realize like high ground save life,
No, they
move
lived off
high
the
ground
earth, so I'm
now.
sure they figured that out.
Like, little Tommy didn't come back. Dumbass didn't come up the hill. He's dead.
I think we learned
Like,
something.
oh,
Doctor Strange is listing off places in America that have pyramids, like natural pyramids. Pyramids already there. How have I never heard of any of these? Apparently, there's a bunch of them. Are these man-made pyramids? That's interesting. Now, I don't know much about those. At one point, this was all one landmass, later renamed Europeans, and colonial. You talk about Pangea? Pangea was one large landmass. That's true. Yep. All right, guys, we got the Yukon handicap coming up in about 6 minutes and 16 seconds, and I got my horse Swamp Thing in this race. Now, Swamp Thing is a horse that I own the ticket for on the Solana blockchain, but that's one that I actually sold the ticket, so I don't actually own that horse. So once we go live, I won't be able to reclaim that horse, but I guess even if you sell the ticket, once I've already cashed in the ticket for this beta version, I get to use the horse. So what happens, Mo, if I have a S ticket for a S tier horse that's worth thousands of dollars, and we go live, I go in here and connect my wallet, I redeem my ticket, I get my horse, and then I sell my ticket on Magic Eden?
Well, it can't happen because when you go live, it's going to burn the ticket.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we go live, it burns the ticket. So that's end game right there. That's the Thanos snap.
Wow, I didn't know that's how it worked. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So there'll be no more tickets once the game goes live. So.
Jeff says, why do giants talk like Arnold? That's just Mo. Mo talks like Arnold. I think it's because of their big tongues. Excuse me, guys. Dr. Strange says, watch the documentary America is Egypt on YouTube. Then watch Knowledge of the Forever Time. Bro, I know look at his name. His name's Dr. Strange. His YouTube channel's name's All Things Strange. Me and him send each other YouTube videos of UFOs and DMs all the time. Sometimes he'll send me one and I'll be like, bro, that looks fake as hell. And then another time he'll send me one, I'm like, wow, what the heck was that? So, he comes up with some good stuff. He knows what he's talking about. I got to check out this America's Egypt. I don't see it. I don't see America being Egypt, but maybe it is in some weird, twisted way. Guess we'll find out.
Listen, I could always be convinced, with the right evidence. I say, bring receipts. You know what I'm saying?
I stay skeptical, but I have fallen for conspiracy theories in the past. I was a big believer in the Loch Ness monster when I was a kid. Not like I wasn't like obsessed with it or anything, but I would have arguments with adults about it. Like, no, man, I seen the pictures. It's real. I'm starting to second guess myself at this point. What did Jeff say back there? I can't read it.
It says, National Treasure was a great movie.
Dude, that's not a documentary. It's Nicolas Cage. Of course it's a great movie. Come on. Everybody loves Nick Cage. Mo's a big Cage fan. He's told me about it. He talks to me about Nick Cage all the time. Like, I wish he would stop. He DMs me every day talking about, did you see what Nick Cage did today? And I'm like, come on, Mo.
Gotta call some races. Here. Photo finish.
That's the guy. All right, guys, let's check out the horses that are in this race. 3 minutes and 30 seconds before we begin. 7 furlongs in this Yukon handicap. We got A+ RTS Girl, another A-named horse from Solonot Stables. We got Watson from PLC Racing. Swamp Thing is my horse. Kilmarnock from Big Brain Stables. We got Bourbon from Golden Stables. Reply Guy from D Stables. Tiki Nene from La Playa Farms. And Harry COVID from Cheese Racing. Harry COVID, eh? This one starts in 3 minutes. As you can see, it's a handicap race, so some of these horses are carrying some extra weight. My horse has no weight, no extra weight. Hopefully that comes in handy for him. This A- down here, Harry COVID's carrying 1 pound, even though all the other A-minuses are not carrying extra weight. And we're trying to determine what causes that. We can see he's got 3 wins, which is more than any other A-, so maybe it goes by wins. He doesn't have like a whole lot of career earnings compared to everybody else. He does have 5K compared to 3K and 2K. So maybe it's either earnings or it could be wins that gives him that extra pound that he has to carry that the other S-minuses for whatever reason don't have to.
The official word in Discord was the stewards or whatever, the digital stewards that, go over the horses. They basically just try to apply whatever they can to make the race as fair as possible. Like, that's all they said.
Well, that doesn't tell us anything. That doesn't tell us what they're determining that by. What did they determine the odds by also?
To me, that's more fun. Like, I'd much rather theory craft it like we're doing.
Absolutely.
Just be like, oh, let me just get the instructions, you know what I'm saying? Hold my hand. Tell me how to do everything,
True. This one entry fee was only 500 Derby. That's why I got into this one. There was another one that I was qualified for that was 1,000 Derby. You gotta pay attention to the entry fee and make sure you're not paying too much until you know you got a good chance of winning that race. And this race, I'm not feeling super confident with. If it was my other horse, I might have been more willing to pay 1,000 Derby for the entry fee. 7 furlongs here. Also, I don't know exactly what distance to run this horse at because, as you can see, all he's been doing is losing so far. Let's see. I ran him at 5 and 4, so I'm stretching him out a little bit. But both of these races were maiden races early on, and you can see there was S minuses and A pluses that weren't carrying any extra weight that he had to go against. So I don't know. He might actually surprise us here. It's a handicap race, so he has a chance.
There's a Watson in this race, huh? I have a Dig Deeper Watsana.
Oh yeah,
Must be related.
we know Dig Deeper Watsana. We've seen her race many times. How's that horse been doing in the Beta version 3?
I raced there a few times. Like I said, hit the podium.
Nice.
I think once out of 3 races, maybe 4 races.
Good stuff.
Like I said, it's hard, man. It's hard to find the races with the price point that I want to, if I have 8 to 10 horses and I got to race them 3 times a week or whatever, 2 times a week, it gets pricey.
Yeah, you definitely got to be picky about what you're racing with. They all cost money. Do you pretty much do handicap races also?
Yeah, I'd find restricted races mainly. So, because I have like 2 B horses, a B plus and a B.
Right.
So I try to find those.
Gotcha. All right, guys, it's time for the Yukon handicap. Good luck if you're in this race. It's race time.
All right, race fans. Another beautiful day here at the track. It's post time. 8 in the gate. And they're off here in the Yukon handicap. And down from the rail, there goes A plus RTS Girl with Reply Guy out for second. And it's Bourbon also showing good speed with Tiki Nene. Watch Me Teak, Watch Me Nene up for third. And comes Harry COVID rounded out here with fifth and Kilmarnock in sixth. I think that was the name as they head around the clubhouse turn in this 7 furlong right turning affair. And it's all A plus RTS Girl with a good showing here in the back. Going down the back stretch, opening quarter in 24 and change. As A plus RTS holds sway by 2, that's Reply Guy, who now moves up to challenge. Another break of 2.5, that's Harry COVID, buying time on the outside in third with Kilmarnock down in fourth. And it's Swamp Thing. All he does is lose, 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 no matter what, according to the vault. But he's looking good right now as he advances from the back in the fourth. And now is being challenged by Kilmarnock. As we make our way back to the front of the pack here, it's A plus RTS Girl starting to pull away even more, if that was possible, as they shoot up the turn now and head for home. The street lights are on and Mom is calling. Don't make her break out the belt, but it's A plus RTS Girl looking to bring this one wire to wire, as Kilmarnock and Bourbon, all they can do is spectate, as ARTS Girl wins it by a country mile over Kilmarnock and Bourbon.
Shout out to A plus RTS Girl. The race froze again right at the very end, right as A plus crossed the finish line, which is kind of weird, but we got to see the whole race, so it's all good. And we also saw Swamp Thing not get the win. I think he got 4th or 5th at the end there. But it was A plus Girl from Solonot Stables with the victory. We got a couple more races tonight. The Historic Triangle Maiden is coming up next, a 12 furlong race. We got the Hoosier Restricted Stakes. And I think there might be one more before the end of the night. But let's check out this Historic Triangle Maiden.
I think there was 2.
About 6.5 minutes. You said there was 2 more races?
Yeah, it was like 8:47.
Yep. I think there was one at 8:59, but it got canceled.
8:56. There's the Hoosier Restricted.
Ooh, I like that one. The Hoosier Restricted Stakes. That's from straight here in Indiana, y'all. I'm a Hoosier. All right. Let's see who's in this race. We got the Historic Triangle Maiden. And it's going to be a 12 furlong race. Bunch of B horses in this one. We got all the slow horses in this one, apparently. We got Top of the Town from Leith Maka Stables. We got Harry Sheets from Cheese Racing. Don Run from Leith Maka Stables again. We got Henry KSR from Kingsport Racing. Pirouette in white. from Mull Skinner Racing and Thermal Laker from Big Brain Stables. So you can tell people here have B minus horses that they're running in races. And I would think a B minus horse, that's like a $150 horse, $100 horse, probably pretty cheap, and people are still running them. I don't see any here that has any wins or any money, but Thermal Lakers got 4 podiums and 12 starts, so that's not horrible.
Yeah, and again, as the longer the game's going to be out, and horses start to decay, and horses aren't that great, people make bad breeding decisions. It was something else I was talking with Ian about. And I would love to see, the Mountaineer, the shitty racetrack that runs at night. I don't want to see the dirt just kicking up because it's dry and disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of seemed all about it, about trying to make that happen to give us like those really just rundown shithole experiences, and then it would make having like a B and a B plus fun. Every track doesn't have to be pristine and look like Churchill Downs. Like, I would probably run it to shithole more than anything else.
I feel like they'd have to do a lot of work to create a whole new track. I mean, that's a
No.
lot of... No?
No.
Maybe not. You know more about it than I do.
I love those guys, but man, have you been, as a matter of fact, I'll let you continue what you're saying, but just to kind of give you an idea, I don't know if I'd be able to pull it up on stream, but...
Shout out to Smart Buys in the chat. What's up, Smart Buy? So what was you trying to prove to me?
Well, I was just saying, I'm saying the more options that they give us, the better. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to like track styles.
And I know that
everything looks the same,
They expect people to be able to own their own tracks, so they do expect to do other tracks, right? Aren't users going to be able to own tracks in some way?
Yeah. Every track is going to have the ability to stake crown on the track. You'll get back a percentage of raked money from like gambling, entry fees, that type of stuff.
So how does that work? Is that where they're going to create their own racetracks, and then you'd be able to lease or buy it from them, or would you have to create your own track if you were somebody who wanted to use their crown to have your own racetrack?
So it seems like it's going to be something that they create. Like they, put up the track, and every track has a certain amount that maxes out the staking. So whoever first come first serve, I guess, stakes X amount of crown, until it fills up at 100%. So, people like me and you might be like, hey, we got a certain amount of crown combined. It'll be good enough for like 40% stake in a racetrack, whatever it is, And then we try to find people to fill up the gap of the 60%. Or you could probably just put it in, again, one of these public ones that'll be opening up. And, whoever comes in next just fills up, the rest.
Yeah, that makes sense. SmartBuy says, I'll try to read it. I can't see the chat very well today. It says, why, Vault, do you think Vivi is not doing YouTube marketing yet? Will big YouTubers, we will get millions of new users? No, because they already got me. Why do they need big YouTubers when they got me? Who's bigger than me? What, Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast ain't nothing, dude. My videos get just as many views as Mr. Beast. Come on. Or maybe not that many, but close. We don't need
if he did if Mr. Beast did an NFT project, that'd be hilarious. Because
huge.
Yeah, but watching Dr. Disrespect, who arguably, and especially in the space that, because Mr. Beast is famous with kids. Like, kids love Mr. Beast. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, my kid loves Mr. Beast.
Right. I like Mr. Beast. I think he's seemed like a decent dude doing good things. So more power to him. More people like that. But you could argue that Dr. Disrespect is a way bigger influence in the type of space that, stuff that we do is trying to, approach, not Mr. Beast. And Dr. Disrespect, with his game, is getting a lot of clout right now. Those NFTs are up over $1,000 again. I kind of regret selling mine. But yeah, so I mean, if he could be kind of the one that if he can make it happen, we're gonna start seeing more games, and then you might see people like Mr. Beast signing on, selling out for NFT project gaming, stuff like that.
And you got to realize that VV does do guerrilla marketing. It's been proven now. Just recently it was proven. Back in the day when I first got into VV, it had a lot to do with Logan Paul, some little side remark that he made during one of his podcasts where one of his co-hosts said something to him about Omi, and he just responds like, oh, you know about the Omi? How do you know about Omi? And then he's like, he just says Pokemon, like they're just have like an inside thing. And so all of us are like, oh, crap, Logan Paul knows about it, blah, 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 blah. And we found out just a couple months ago that they actually paid Logan Paul to say that. It was like a guerrilla marketing ad that they put in there, and that influenced a lot of people. So they might be doing that, and you don't even know it.
No, I believe it. They're doing a lot of things that they think we don't know about. But
But we find out. Don't be doing it on the blockchain because we are researching that stuff. All right, guys, it's time for the historic triangle maiden. We got a 12 furlong race. This one was only 100 entry fee. That's probably why you got the B's and the B pluses in this one. It's 12 furlong, so it's going to be a long race, and it's on a fast track. So that means the conditions are nice. This is the same track that we just raced on like 30 minutes ago, and it was sloppy. So it must have dried up quick. It's fast now. All right, guys, good luck if you're in the race. It's go time.
all right. Oh, this is a 12 furlong race. If anybody's got a voice they want to hear, we're gonna need something to do. Say it in chat.
All right, horses are at the gate. Online. And they're off here in the historic Triangle Maiden. And Pirouette and White got the better of it here and heads out to lead along with Henry KSR and Harry Sheets as this trio is going to get going here early on around the turn. And it's Thermal Acre on the outside with Top of the Town down at the rail and Dawn Run. Beautiful White Mask is rounding out the top six here. There's only six, and that's going to end the call as we head back to the front. Opening quarter in 25 and change. And it's Henry KSR now is being challenged by Thermal Acre on the outside. This horse means business. Thermal Acre right up on the outside. Awkward eye contact and goes right on by. As it's Thermal Acre now is one to catch. But Henry KSR is relegated back to the rail as all he can do is watch. And it's Pirouette and White running along here in third, trotting. That comes fourth is Top of the Town in the red silks, now being passed by Harry Sheets. I prefer my sheets silky smooth, but some like 'em hairy, and Harry Sheets is trying to pick 'em off one by one thread at a time. And we make our way back to the back. It's Dawn Run with about 9 to make up, as this pack continues to chase Henry KSR. As Henry KSR has found another gear already, as starts to leave Thermal Acre in the dust, burn my rubber and eat my dust, as Henry KSR is starting to open up once again. It's 3, maybe 4 lengths over Top of the Town. Thermal Acre also there in third, but might have blown their load early. Dawn Run has making serious moves from the back, splitting it like a Vanderjagt field goal. We might think of another kicker one day, but today's not the day. Hey, Jason Elam maybe. Adam Vinatieri, there we go. Why can't I think of that on the fly? But it's back to the race. Henry KSR by 4, trying to hold on here, but has a slew of challengers now approaching. Harry Sheets is one, Thermal Acre with Pirouette and White. As these three start to rev into another gear, another dimension even is Henry KSR, and so am I. Henry KSR by 2, Harry Sheets on the outside. Thermal Acre trying to click heels, bumping around here with Pirouette and White. But Henry KSR continues to exude dominance and shits all over the field. Excuse my language, but it's Henry KSR by 3. Trying to hold on here as they hit the 8th pole. Thermal Acre down the center of the track with Harry Sheets. Harry Sheets trying one more time. Desperately on the outside is Thermal Acre, but not going to get him today. It's going to be Henry KSR by 4 over Harry Sheets and Pirouette and White.
Shout out to Kingsport Racing, gets the victory there with Henry KSR. And the race did freeze at the very end, but we already got to see the winner there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Dennis O'Connor. I see VV Arcade here. We had some technical difficulties early in the stream. We actually had to start up a whole second stream because of the technical difficulties. And during all that, I lost my chat. So I don't have any way to chat to you guys, and I can hardly see your chat. All I have is the little tiny box. And I see you saying something about me putting my posters up. Yeah. I posted them up kind of as a flex because they pumped like you said, and I just wanted to show off that I had 2 of them. I don't expect them to sell for $150, but if they do, I won't be upset either. That's fine with me. We got one more race tonight, guys. It starts in 5 minutes. It's going to be the last race of the night, and it's the Hoosier Restricted Stakes. And if you don't know what a Hoosier is, that's what they call people in Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers. And there's been a lot of talk growing up around here because I live in Indiana about where did that word come from? Hoosier. What does Hoosier mean? Mo, do you know?
I think it comes from the old English phrase of "Who's your daddy?"
Ha! No. That makes sense though.
I think it was a Celtic slang.
Hoosier daddy. Hoosier. Yeah,
"Who's
that
your
makes
daddy?"
sense. Yeah. No, nobody knows exactly where it's from for sure, but there is a theory, and that is documented. Although I'm having trouble believing it, but apparently, at some point when people started moving out west, and somebody settled in Indiana and created a saloon type area, there was a big bar fight. Somebody's ear got cut off. It was on the floor, and then the person who owned the bar picked it up and went around town saying, Whose ear? Whose ear is this?"
Huh.
And everybody's like, "That's the place where the Whose ears people are." I don't know if it's true, but that's
I
the story
mean,
I heard growing up.
if it's not true, that's a story I want to believe. So
That's
sign me up.
exactly right. It was so good that I want to believe it. Shout out to Dennis O'Connor. Ahoy, ahoy, my friend. We're having a good night here. Besides the technical difficulties, I need to go through and clean my computer up so I can fix that stuff. VV Drop
Oh yeah, let
says,
me
I
catch
fudged.
you up on chat. Yeah, VB, he fuds for no pay. It's quite fulfilling.
Oh. And I saw BBRK said he would love to get paid to FUD. Would I FUD for money? Not without revealing it. That just don't seem right. It seems immoral.
Illegal.
Eh, that don't bother me. It's crypto. Everything's illegal. They ain't doing nothing about it. I don't know. Maybe not.
I'm just saying, if you collect pay for anything and you're talking good about it or even bad about it, reviewing it, yeah,
Definitely.
that's still you better hashtag add that shit, save your
Yeah.
ass.
VB Drop says we have Hoosiers in St. Louis. That don't even make sense. That's Illinois, or is that Missouri? St. Louis is in Illinois and no, that's Illinois. Sorry.
I mean, I'm sure people lost ears in other states too.
Wait, St. Louis is Missouri, right?
I believe so.
It's one of those. There's one city that's like in both states. My bad. I don't know why they wouldn't be Hoosiers anymore if they moved to St. Louis. They're now Missourians. Is that a word, Missourians? I know
I
that.
don't know. I'm like the most uncultured person. I know New York and like California, basically where I lived, and a little bit of like Orlando area. That's it.
Do you have a bunch of the things where they mix the words together? So like right here, I live right on the edge of Kentucky and Indiana, and they call it Kentuckiana. And I thought it was just like that was just this area only. But then I was visiting over and close to the Ohio border, and they're like, this is Ohio. Like all these borders have different words where they combine it. Like Michigan and Indiana has one, like Michigana. Do y'all have that out there too in New York?
No, our shit just makes sense. We have like concrete lines because I think that's a problem, right? I think a lot of those states have like weird,
That's true.
like weird county lines, and then state lines are like different. So that's where like this weird overlap comes from. But
Yep.
here, the way that our Long Island, especially where I'm at, Long Island, the way our Long Island was settled, it was basically you had Manhattan, and then like the rich people came out to like what's called Nassau County, and they only really built like halfway out of Long Island, right? And everything else, basically like where I live, and then out to like the east end, the part that looks like a fish, um, was all farmland.
Oh,
And then slowly over the years, they started building like the Long Island Expressway was like a road that progressed. They made it longer and longer as, Long Island became more popular and populated. It just kind of continued to grow. So that's why we don't really have that problem here. Because like I said, they kind of like segmented, like, one at a time, kind of built it, moved in, built it, extended it, moved in. So it was kind of like structured like that.
see, I always thought all the rich people lived in Manhattan, but I also was wondering like how those boroughs are even separated because you would think something like Brooklyn and the Bronx, there's not like a wall or anything, so you would think there'd be an area right there that was half Brooklyn or half Bronx.
I mean, there's normally gang members that line up to let you know.
Oh, really? That's how you know? Just see what
Yeah.
colors they're wearing.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, man, I can't wear my red T-shirt today.
Can you really not wear particular colors? Like you probably couldn't go out walking around in all red because you
I
might be
mean,
afraid.
honestly, nowadays, probably not an issue unless you like really go into some bad spots. I'm sure it could be. Like if you're rocking, red bandana,
Yeah, really.
like if if you're trying to like really show bloods. I don't know what gangs are actually still active, but there are still some I know, especially local. But anyway, the point is, back in the '90s, that was way more prevalent than it is like today.
Good. That's good to hear. All right, guys, it's time for the last race of the night. Huge or restricted stakes. Good luck if you're in it. Here we go.
All right, here we go. One more race on the card. Massive 4-horse field in the Who's Your Daddy restricted stakes. And they're off, and it's Flushing Meadows. Flushing Meadows out the first, along with the Venus Vibes. Venus Vibes spaced out, kind of like my brain at the moment. And then comes Spartan with White Lightning, ironically my nickname back in high school. But back to the front, it's Wimbledon and GBT runners first and second in the blue silks, yellow silks. That's Flushing Meadows with Venus Vibes, as these two are going to show the way. Opening quarter was running 23 and change, and it's a 2-horse race at the moment. And a break of 5 comes Spartan and White Lightning, as these two are going to have a race of their own, trying not to take dead last. But we are running 7 furlongs here, right on the turf, yielding track. Still don't see any moisture, but what do you know? But for now, it's Flushing Meadows and Venus Vibes is trying to duke it out mono with Swan. Mono Flushing Meadows by half a nose even, with Venus Vibes now starting to apply pressure here on the outside. As we hit the top of the stretch now and head for home, Flushing Meadows finds another gear and kicks clear by a length. Then it's Venus Vibes, and down at the rail it's White Lightning. White Lightning is splitting them at will, living up to the name, and splitting them here is final 8th pole. Flushing Meadows on the inside with White Lightning, but it's going to be all Flushing Meadows hanging tough over White Lightning and Venus Vibes.
Shout out to Wimbledon. GBT Turf takes first and third place in that race. I was kind of pulling for White Lightning there at the end. He split horses, like Mo said. That was a nice move at the very end, but not quite enough to get the victory. That's a horse from Miami Nation. And that was our last race of Saturday night racing. And we do plan on doing another Saturday night racing a week from today. On next Saturday night, we'll be watching the next third time Derby, and we'll be preparing for the game to go live. Shout out to BB Arcade in the chat, BB Drop, everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Sorry that I couldn't communicate much this time. We had some technical difficulties, and I have no chat. I don't even know how I'm going to end the stream because I don't have the button that says end stream anymore. So,
oh shit!
So there's that.
All right, chat. Well, we're stuck here now. It's like BB trying to cash out. Now you can't leave.
I got a button I can push. I just don't know what's going to happen after that. I think this is going to end the stream. So I appreciate you guys once again for hanging out with us. We do this every Saturday night on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard till 9 o'clock. Sometimes we'll go a little bit, start a little bit later if there's not a lot of races early in the night. But usually we're live on Saturdays. And if there's a lot of races, sometimes we'll even be live on Friday nights. And then Mo is always live on, not always, but is always hanging out at least with the Thursday Twitch photo finish live stream. What time does that happen, Mo?
It's usually 4 o'clock Eastern. This week I think it was 7 o'clock Eastern because there was another bunch of content creators that were doing like a race of their own horses, so that was kind of cool too. But yeah, I think usually it's at 4 p.m. Eastern.
And what do they search for on Twitch to find that channel?
It should be Third Time. Just search for Third Time. You'll see Third Time Games. That's their official channel. You can join the Discord. They always post the links in there too. Also, again, good information, good resources of people. Vault, obviously, your Discord. We got to get that syndicate going and really try to see if we can grab a ticket. Or might be better to wait for breeding and all buy a horse that way. You know, we could talk about it, but let's get that going. But I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you, Vault. Good stuff as always, and I will see you guys next week.
Great calling the races, Mo. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we will